Today I have a product that's more useful than I thought. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Alrighty, so as a tech channel, I'm a Mac channel, right? I get a lot of companies sending me tech products all the time, and I would say about 90% of the time, I don't choose to make videos on them. Now, a company reached out to me, and I'll put the logo up over here somewhere. They're actually called Kifeya. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't even know how to say the name, but they sent me this portable monitor tablet with a stand. It's really complicated, but at first I was like, what am I going to do with this thing? I don't think I'm going to make a video. But then I started thinking about all the possible uses, and I started using it, and I was like, hey, I got to do this. It's actually really, really useful. Now, I hope you watched the whole video, but if you can't do that, skip ahead to the section that says how I actually use the monitor, because you're going to be surprised there. This thing, trust me, is quite unique. And then I'm going to get into some, at the very end, some negatives about the monitor. There's not a ton of them, but there's some you should know about as well. It's not a deal breaker for me, because I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of good use out of this thing, even with the negatives. So definitely skip ahead to that one section if you want to see how this thing's being used. Okay, so what do we actually have here? I mean, it looks like a monitor on a stand, doesn't it? And I'll show you close-ups as I'm talking about this. That's exactly what it is, but it's a lot more than that. So it's a monitor on a stand, but it's got a built-in battery, a massive battery in the kind of the stand of the stand over here. And that allows you to move it around without actually having it connected to any type of power. And then on top of that, it has a built-in Android tablet in here right here. You can see it right here. And I'll go through this whole feature set in a second, but you can see it works just like a tablet. Really, really cool. And then on top of all of that, it can work as just a normal monitor. So you can plug in a MacBook or something to it, or a Windows PC, and use it as a second screen anywhere around your desk or where you want to get into somewhere. So it works as just a normal monitor, but it's also a tablet. All right, right now we're going to talk about the setup of it and the specs of the monitor as well. Now on paper, it's not going to look like the highest performing monitor, and it really isn't, but it doesn't need to be. It actually does its job really well, and that's kind of what I want to show you. Okay, the product shipped to me and the box was outside, so I go out to try to pick it up. It's super heavy. I can barely move the thing. I mean, it weighs a ton, so you might want two people to help you actually get this set up, but it's really easy to do. The company also has a little video, I'll put it up right here, showing you how to do it, so I'm not going to recreate that for you. In a nutshell, there's a little stand pole here. You screw that pole into the base, and it's just a couple screws in there, and then actually the monitor clicks in on the back of it, and then you screw in a little thing on the back, and it takes about 10 minutes. Really, really easy. Just keep in mind that the base of it is where the battery is, and I'll show you some close-ups of that. So there's a little door, I didn't go into the battery down there, but that's where the battery actually is, and you can charge that up so that you don't need to use any cords when you're moving this thing around. But that thing weighs a ton. So the one complication here is you can roll around really easily. And on the bottom of it, it has really good, I mean, they're kind of caster wheels, I guess you'd call them. They're kind of rubberized, so it doesn't scratch up the floor. It'll roll over any type of, wood floor or even carpets and things like that, no problem. But just understand, if you're trying to go up and down the stairs, you're going to need some help because it's really, really heavy. But at the same time, if you actually run into this thing and I kind of think you're going to knock it down, you'll probably go down before it does. Okay, let's talk about the screen now. Now, it's not going to be like a studio display. It's not going to compete against that, but it's going to do, I think it's good enough for what it's trying to accomplish in this setup, and we'll explain that in a second. So what is it? I'll show you some examples. It's 32 inches, 1080p, FHD IPS screen. It's got a 60 hertz, 300 nits of brightness. I have it at about 50% brightness right now, and you can see it's actually plenty bright right here. I've never had a problem with brightness. It's got a 3 millisecond response time, so if you want to hook up a gaming system to it, it's going to do quite well. And it says 4001 contrast ratio as well. It's also got a 10-point touch sensitivity touchscreen here. That's actually when you're on the tablet only, and I'll get into that later. But it's actually really responsive, and as I'm talking, you can see some pictures of me moving it around. I think it did a really good job at that, especially for the size of it, and it's just like a giant tablet more or less, right? And then it has basically in the back dual 8-watt speakers. They get plenty loud, and if there's any negative here, they may not get low enough. That's the only thing I found out. But overall, you can see the design of it. It's this pure white, looks like a pure white monitor, and the stand and actually the base of it. It looks very elegant. You can throw this into some kind of like a bedroom or something, and it's going to look really nice and not that cheap. So overall, I like the design. I'm also going to put up a spec sheet right here, and you can go ahead and pause this if you want to go ahead and take a look at it, because I know you're not going to be able to read this in 2 seconds, but I just wanted to put it up here in case you want to see all the specs. So after you put the monitor all together, you can go ahead and see, you can move it anywhere in the house. Take a look at this. You can move it across your floors. You can go into any room in the house. You can go upstairs, downstairs. It's really a versatile thing because you can move that monitor anywhere you need it. Now also, as far as the stand in general, you can see here you can move it up, you can move it down, you can move it left, you can move it right. And then also you can go ahead and move it over to portrait mode, which is really cool when you're doing other things. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. But let's say you're reading a website or something like that, you can move it into portrait mode, and then it's going to showcase the website this way instead of the long way. I think that's really cool. It's super easy to use, obviously, but the portability is where it comes in. Okay, let's talk about the back of it and some of the ports now and some of the buttons. So first of all, I'll show you some pictures. It's got a power button on the back and then a volume up and down, so it's really easy to change the volume. And then for ports, actually, it's got a USB-C connection, then it's got an HDMI connection. You can see them here. It's got two USB-As. Now this is going to be for mice or for a keyboard or for actually plugging in maybe like a USB device to show some pictures on this. Maybe you're at like a trade show or something like that. And then it's got a little reset button as well. But that's really all you get in the back of it. It's pretty clean, like I said, the white color. But I think overall, it's got plenty of connections for most of the devices you need. Okay, one really cool thing with this thing as well is obviously it's got the touchscreen capability, but they also ship it with the remote here. So let's say you're sitting in bed and you roll this up and you want to watch some YouTube or something. You can actually sit back with the remote, and I'll show you a close-up of the remote, but you can go back and forth. You can kind of navigate through the whole menu system here, and it's really easy to use. So it does take, two, I think, AAA batteries in the back. But overall, it is what it is. Now, one thing you have to remember about the remote here is you definitely want to pair it when you get it. And when I first got this, I was like, it's not working. Something's broke. You had to pair it. So make sure you pair this and then it'll work perfectly. But the remote's a really good kind of added option because obviously you're going to be using this in a lot of ways I'm going to show you. And the remote comes in a huge part of it in a second when I show you how to do it. Okay, then in the box as well, you do get some instructions here. They're super clear, super easy. So that was a huge plus for me. It took, like I said, 10 minutes to put everything together. It does come with an HDMI cable as well, a screwdriver, and then some screws to actually screw it into the base there. Overall, simple. Okay, so what makes this so unique? This is what we want to talk about. That battery that's built into the base of it, that allows you to move anywhere in the house without actually having it plugged in. That's number one. That battery is a 10,000 milliamp battery. It'll last six to 8 hours of screen time. So I can watch this for 6 to 8 hours without having to plug it in. Think about the possibilities here, and we'll go through them. It's pretty incredible. Then what else? It says you can charge up to about 80% in 2 hours, so the charging doesn't take forever. It's going to take you a couple hours to get up to that 80%, but I think it's totally worth it. Like I said, I use this a lot, watching TV in bed and stuff like that, and you can watch a good, 4 hours for maybe, 2 nights straight, and then you got to charge it, but that's just like anything else, the battery will run out. So like I mentioned before, this thing's really just a giant Google Android tablet back here. That's all it really is. It's actually running Android 13. It's got 128 gigs of storage in it, and I'll show you a close-up. I'm not using that much. It's completely bloat-free. There's not a lot of bloatware on there as well, so it's a clean install of it, which I like. And I think it's got 6 gigs of RAM on it as well. But overall, it's very, very snappy for what it is, and I ran all of the apps. You can run YouTube on here, a whole bunch of different apps, and they just run really well. So it's not getting overwhelmed by any kind of garbage on it. It's just really clean. It also says that it's Google EDLA certified. I guess that's for security, knowing that actually Google's kind of certified this. And so you can go to the Google Play Store and download any app that you want to download for it. So Netflix, imagine that. You can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and get Pluto TV and then start watching TV on here if you want. Or if you have Comcast, you can go out and download Comcast and get that as well. So all the apps that you have on any Android tablet or Android phone, you can download right on here. Just set up a Google email address and you can go right in here, get your Gmail. It's going to have all the different Google apps. So it's super useful in that sense. Even if you're not plugging in another computer to it, it's kind of like a computer built into it as well with that battery. And you can imagine this is where your head starts spinning as far as how you actually can use this thing. Oh yeah, and it's actually got full Wi-Fi, so you can connect to your internet, obviously, so you can get those shows going. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, so you can put earphones or something on and listen to the music that way, or connect it to a speaker if you want an external speaker. It's also got wired and wireless connectivity, so you can go ahead and beam something over to it, or you can connect in a bunch of different devices like gaming systems and stuff right into it. Okay, so here's the fun part. How am I actually going to use this product in my house? And I found a million ways to do it. Number one, I'm a YouTube creator. I can go ahead and put information behind me here just like I'm doing right now, but I can connect my Mac to this directly if I want to and put the information up from my Mac. You can see pictures of that, or even an iPad, so it connects to an iPad just fine. Now, keep in mind that it's kind of weird here because you can use the touchscreen here on the tablet, but if you actually connect your Mac or an iPad, it won't be touch sensitive on that, so you have to go ahead and control it from an iPad. You have to control it actually from the iPad. Overall, though, it's still really, it's just like a second monitor, second screen. That's the easy way to do it, but I like it here because I can roll it behind me for information, or I can roll this in front of me over here and I can actually read off of it like kind of a teleprompter. So if you're a YouTube person, this is a great option because you're not plugging things in, running around. You can just wheel it back and forth. It's going to last 8 hours doing that, and it works really well for that. Okay, besides the most obvious, like I just talked about, having it as a second screen for your computer or using it for just an Android tablet like it is back here, what are some of these crazy other uses that I found for it? Number one I love doing is in the kitchen, all right? You can take a look here. If you're cooking or something, you can go ahead and put recipes on here. You can watch YouTube videos on cooking. You can have it in the corner of your kitchen. It just works flawlessly. It's a big screen like that, and my wife sometimes wants to watch some TV while she's cooking or something. Maybe it's like a couple hours she's cooking. She can just wheel this into the corner of the room and watch a show on Netflix or Pluto or something like that. So overall, the kitchen works really well. Another way I've used this before is I actually moved it into the garage when I was fixing something, and I was able to watch kind of some instructions up on the big screen really, really easily because it's portable, obviously, and I was able to fix what I wanted to do. So that was number two there, and I thought that was kind of cool. Also, exercising. A lot of people do exercising, and you can see my example here. It's really not a lot for me, right? But you get the idea. So you can set this up in a room somewhere or a studio, put up your workout videos, when you want to, and then go ahead and put a mat down and do your workouts, and then just move it back into the corner when you're done using it. I think a lot of like women especially, and even some guys and stuff like that, maybe they're doing weightlifting and stuff, this would be a great use for it as well. Also, maybe one of the best ideas, because this is a touchscreen and it is a tablet, is if you have kids, you can go ahead and put this in a playroom, move it up to their bedroom, move it to a room where you can actually monitor what they're doing, put on some kind of kids shows and stuff like that, let them watch cartoons. There's drawing apps on here. There's a whole bunch of different things, just like any Android tablet. It's got all the different apps and games you can play via touch. So kids would love this thing. It would be a great addition to any kind of kids playroom. And, obviously they could destroy because it's obviously a touchscreen. You just have to be a little bit careful there. But overall, I think that's probably one of the top uses. Now for me, one of the big uses that I found was in my bedroom. So I'll show you some pictures. We don't actually have a TV mounted yet. We're thinking about putting it on the wall, but this thing just kind of fixes the problem. I can roll this in and we can roll it right to the head of the bed, or we can roll it on the side of the bed if we want to, and we can watch all the shows that we want to right on there. Again, Netflix, and we can watch movies. And then when we're done with it, we can move it right into, we have a walk-in closet. We can move it right in there, and it's kind of out of sight. So when we want to watch it, we roll it in. When we don't, we roll it out. It's very versatile. It's almost like having one of those pop-up screens at the end of the bed, and I love it. All right, maybe you want to take it outside. I'm actually in the house here and practice some of your golf swings. You want to watch some YouTube videos and actually have it right in front of you, kind of at eye level. You can go ahead and do that. Also, wives love this kind of thing. Maybe they want to take a nice long bubble bath, but they don't want to, we don't have a TV mounted in the bathroom, right? You can actually roll this thing right in there, have it kind of about 5 or 6 feet away from you. Do not want to get it wet because of the battery, obviously, but roll it in and you can watch your shows and stay in the bath maybe for an hour or two, and people love it for that too. Another use that I've actually used it for once already was in our deck outside. I had some people over and we wanted to watch a game. You can go ahead and put Comcast on here, watch live TV. And we watched a baseball game, so you can do that. You can move it outside. Just keep in mind, if it starts even thinking about raining out there, get it inside because it's got that battery. That's a no-no. Now for business, this thing's even better. So imagine you own a restaurant here. You can go ahead and showcase your menu on it, flip it in portrait mode like I'm showing you, have it maybe be touch capable if you want to. You can have these in restaurants and stuff like that because they look super elegant. Also in conference rooms, these are perfect for that, right? You can do Zoom calls on these things. You can roll them around to different people. You can mount obviously connect a camera to it. This does not have a camera on it, but go ahead and mount one on it. And you can go ahead and do your Zoom calls or, all those different types of calls that businesses have to do, or even other stuff in there as well. Or if a customer needs to work or something in the conference room, you can roll this up and, plug them in so they can actually do their work. Either way, it's just a lot of the monitors like this that cost thousands of dollars to do it. This is quite a bit cheaper, and it's going to give you that capability in a conference room. And then if you're traveling to trade shows and things like that, and you want to go ahead and showcase your product as you're moving around, you could bring this with you. Obviously, it's pretty heavy, but you have to, it's still going to be a good idea because it doesn't need a cord. You can actually just wheel it out, and you don't actually need to have it plugged in. That's a huge plus. In the back of it, those little plugs there, you can plug in kind of USB sticks and show pictures and videos and things like that, or you can just stream them right from YouTube if you create them in advance. So really, really easy. I mean, if you have a family, maybe you have a family calendar, you guys want to keep this in the kitchen again, the kids can use it and stuff like that, so you guys can all kind of go up to the calendar and put in your entries. A little bit expensive for that, but I still think it's kind of a good idea. Put this on an RV maybe. You can move this around the RV if you want to because it's, maybe you don't have a place to hang it. That's another reason why you might want something like this. Even like, let's say you're living in a loft, let's say you're a single girl or something, and you don't have really a TV, you can just buy one of these things, right? You can put it in your family room when you want to watch TV, maybe 5 or 6 feet from you. You can move it into the kitchen when you do your video, when you want to do cooking stuff. You can go ahead and do your workouts with it. You can move it all around on the wood floors, so it's going to be a really good product for that as well. So for somebody that wants to keep everything kind of small, they don't want to be moving, a 65-inch TV, buying one of these like in a loft or something is perfect, and you get all of the content you want. Okay, now that we showed you what you can use it for, what are some of the cons that I kind of noticed with this? Just to be completely honest, the weight of it, number one. So a single person, really a girl for sure, cannot move this up and down the stairs. You're going to need two people to move it up and down. Like I said, it's just crazy, crazy heavy. The next con is going to be the 1080p display. Obviously, if you're using this as a second screen, it's 32 inches. It's not going to be the highest resolution, but for all the other reasons I showed you, when you're just a little bit further away from it, like if I'm doing, even if I'm putting it in front of me here, kind of as a teleprompter, it's perfect for that. So, I mean, while it's a con, and I'm not going to count it too much against it because it's not really what that's for. Number 3 is probably the biggest one for me, but it's going to be Android 13 right now. And obviously, while it works flawlessly right now, it's very responsive. It may not be able to get updates, later in life and stuff like that, like well into the future. So just keep that in mind. I think it came out in 2022. It's not the newest and greatest Android. If you care about that stuff, I just wanted to disclose that, it is what it is. So the last con here is kind of a nitpicky thing, but the volume on it only has like 6 different levels. So if you want to listen to it very quiet, maybe you're in a bedroom, you don't want to wake up anybody, it doesn't actually go that low. It's actually the lowest volume settings is pretty high actually. So I would maybe set up a Bluetooth speaker to it or headphones. You can listen to it that way, or just a third, like I said, a Bluetooth speaker, put it on your desk, and it'll actually probably be better sound anyway. And you can listen to it that way and then adjust the volume. Now let's talk about pricing. Now, some people may think this is a negative, the price. I think it's a positive, and now hear me out. Right here on Amazon, the price right now is $699, 32-inch portable TV with touchscreen. $699, it's 13% off, usually $799. Now, you might say, well, I can buy a 1080p 32-inch maybe for $170, $80 or something like that. Add a stand to it, we're at $250. You can do that if you want to, right? But the things you won't be able to get is that battery down there, and you can't wheel around. It's going to always need to be plugged in. That's number one. That battery is going to cost quite a bit of money. It's a unique product. It's got that really, it's just a really good design where you can wheel it everywhere. Very solid design. That's going to be number 2. But it's also an Android tablet. Take a look over there. I mean, it's got a full Android tablet. It's got a CPU. It's got 120 gigs of storage. It's got the RAM in it. It can do all the things I showed you. Run all the apps you want without anything attached to it because it's portable. You don't want some things to have to be coming behind it, right? You want to be able to use it just as it is in your bedroom, watch all your shows. So you add all that stuff together, it's not really a bad cost there at $699. They also sell it on their website over here. I'll show it to you here. On their website, it's $799 right now, so it's a little bit cheaper on Amazon. I mean, maybe this will come down, but you can see it here. And, I recommend going to their website. They have a whole bunch of good information in here if you want to read a whole bunch more about it, if all the specs and everything. It's all on the website. I'll have all of this in the video description. Okay, we're going to wrap this up, but just my final thoughts on this. I mean, let's just assume you want to get a TV for maybe your bathroom because you want to take a bath like I mentioned. If you get a specialty TV that's built in a box that can't get wet and stuff like that, it's going to cost you a fortune, more than $699. This thing can do it. If you want a TV in your, also a TV in your kitchen, this can do it as well. You got to buy that TV. If you want a TV for the kids where you can move around and keep an eye on them and watch things, but also play games on it, this thing's got you covered for $699. So you start seeing the possibilities. Let's say you have a computer like I have here, but I want a second screen over here. I can wheel this thing in, plug it in, temporarily use it as my second screen, teleprompter. Anything you want, this thing's got you covered. So I think that's a really fair price. And the video's gone on too long already, so I'm just going to wrap this up. I just wanted to say that do your own research out there because obviously I've only had this a short time. I have no idea how long this is going to last, or as far as the longevity of it. But I just wanted to showcase it because that's what I like doing, is finding kind of unique products on my channel and showcasing them to people. I love the thing right now. Like I said, I don't know long term how it's going to react and stuff like that. But overall, I think it's a really good, innovative product. And if they especially if they update it, maybe the OS will get updated soon, things like that. Definitely check out this company, check this product out. I like it. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.